Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, RN's Realty. My name is Amanda, and today I wanted to go over how to make 5K in 1 week as an RN. Stay tuned. So the way that I did it was through travel nursing, specifically strike nursing. Now, I heard about this assignment through US Nursing, which is a company that works with Fast Staff. Fast Staff is a company that I actually did my first travel nursing assignment with. So I was in their system. So I received an email saying, hey, there's a strike nurse, excuse me, there's a strike that is going to occur in this particular state. Would you like to go? Or are you interested? And it told me specifically how long I'd have to be away from home. I believe it said 9 days, 9 or 10 days. And it told me the pay for the specialty. I'm considered med surg, even though I'm like ortho and trauma. So it was $65 per hour, which is twice what I'm making back home as per diem. So I'm like, 1 week, I'm all about that. So, and then for other specialties, it was a little higher. I know some specialties were $70. I think it was for ER, and I think like ICU was like $75. Don't quote me on that, but I just knew they were more than med surg, $65 an hour rate. So, and they flew me out the Sunday. I flew back home the following Sunday. So it worked out really well. Needless to say, I was dead tired, especially with the time change. But it is what it was. It was what it was. So I arrived in town this Sunday. I was flown in, like I said, and then I was shuttled from the airport to the hotel, where we did what's called an induction to get all your paperwork and everything situated to make sure you're okay to go to the hospital that we'd be working at. And then that was that Sunday. The Monday, we had orientation to get us acclimated, rather. And then I worked, just to add, orientation, we were paid our hourly rate, $65 an hour. And then I worked Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, straight, 5 days straight. And then flew back home. So there was some overtime in there. I actually made more than $5,000, but because I file unmarried and I have no dependents, they tax me off the ass. Excuse my language, but it's the truth. So I still ended up coming back home with about $4,800, if not a little bit more. But it was still more than what I would have made in a month had I worked 3 days, three shifts a week. So I wasn't too sad about that. So I wanted to give you a little bit of a breakdown regarding the pay. So the Sunday when I initially got to the location, which was the hotel orientation area, which they do call induction, I was paid $100 when I was $100 cash when I was finished. Of course, going through all the paperwork and stuff that they needed to make sure I was ready to start at the hospital that Tuesday. Orientation pay was $65 per hour, which was that Monday. I had to be at orientation at 5:30 in the morning, and I was done by 11:30 a.m. almost 12 o'clock. So about, give or take, 6 hours. Work was from Tuesday to Saturday. We were paid $65 per hour for up to 40 hours, which did include that orientation time. And then, of course, since we worked technically 6 days straight. There was overtime essentially built in. So each overtime hour, we were paid $97.50. So as you can see, it definitely added up. So I wanted to show you my pay stub, just to give you an idea as to how the breakdown is. So the second column from the left, under rate, you see that my overtime was 97.5, 97.50, and the strike rate was 65. I worked a total of 77.61 hours, and total earnings gross was 58.04 and 90 cents. The taxes on the far right, as I mentioned before, were a lot. So I ended up coming home with about 4107, which is still a decent amount for 1 week. But it sucks that all that tax is taken out. But yes, so like I said, it is possible to make $5,000 in 1 week. Netting that would be easier if you filed differently than I do. I am not a tax expert, but I would imagine you might have a little bit less tax taken out. So it all depends on your situation. But I just wanted to give you an idea as to how it is. Okay? I was able to build up my savings a little bit. So that was the good thing about it. Now, strike assignments, they can be from 1 week, like my assignment was, to a month. And some of them are actually say indefinitely. So I've heard that some assignments have gone like 3 months, and you make pretty decent money. So the good thing about strike assignments is that whenever they occur, it is mandatory that your housing is taken care of, because essentially they want to make sure like you're in a safer environment, as opposed to you deciding to like go stay at an Airbnb. They want to minimize the amount of, if there is any chaos around, I believe they call them picketers, to cause problems for the nurses who are coming into work. There can be a lot of controversy surrounding, nurses who do strikes, who are actually striking, and nurses who are working the strike. Fortunately, I didn't experience any of that. The gentleman and the security who made sure we got on the bus, got off the bus, they do this all the time. They made sure like we were okay. So that's the good thing about it. And when you go out to do a strike, as opposed to just going on a travel assignment by yourself, like it's a whole group of you guys. And everybody knows that you're going in to do a particular job to help care for the patients, while the nurses are striking at that particular hospital. So they're happy that you're there. Even the doctors, when we got on the floors, were like, I'm so happy you guys are here. And it made us feel really good. And it was camaraderie by the end of the week. Like the girls who I worked with, like we're like, like a little, I want to say a little bit of a favor, but we got decently close. Because, we made sure we were on the floor together. We helped each other out throughout the shifts. A lot of us hadn't used the system that they use, like the electronic medical record that they've used. So it's a matter of helping each other out. That is what nursing is about, essentially. So that's the good thing about it. Let's see. Now, how to do strike nursing. So the website is called usnursing.com. So go on there, and actually on the first page, it will give you a list of of the states that are possibly striking. Now, I just received my license for Minnesota and Pennsylvania. Those 2 states, prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, were considering striking. The last time I checked, are still up there. And I heard through the grapevine, actually no, not through the grapevine, because it was actually on usnursing.com, that Washington was striking again, because their terms were not met. So that's another option as well. More than likely, those strikes will not occur until the pandemic, has calmed down and everything. So we're all hoping that will be soon, not because of the strike nursing, but because, of our health and everything that's going on. Let's see, what else? So when you go, so say for instance, you choose to, apply for the Pennsylvania license, because I applied for both my Pennsylvania and Minnesota license. I did it through what's called the License Reimbursement Program, which FastStaff and U.S. Nursing have. So basically, I'm not sure if they extended the application, but, if you were to have applied by March 31st and received your license in the mail, as long as you submitted your receipts and your proof of license via email to the company, they would reimburse you your money. So that's the great thing about strike nursing, is that if you don't have a license in that state, or even if you're renewing, they will reimburse you up to a certain amount. Some states it's like $250, some states it's $350. It all depends. And that's the good thing about them. So I can only speak to FastStaff and U.S. Nursing because I work with them specifically, and I would work with them again. I've heard other companies like Nursing Bridge. They have a Nursing Bridge. They have a few others out there that I can't think of at the moment. But I hope this helps. I definitely hope this helps. The one thing to note about strike nursing, they're not necessarily, how do I say this? You can't always bank on them. And the reason why I say that, for instance, like with New York, they were supposed to be striking, I think it was last year. And that's exactly when I started to apply for strike nursing assignments. I was due to go up there. They didn't call it. I ended up doing other things. And then they actually called for it. A friend of mine actually signed up to go, and I think a few days later they canceled the strike, and then they recently settled. So it's not always a for sure thing, but when they do occur, it's nice to do. Build camaraderie, find out different companies, meet new travel nurses, see what things that they've experienced. You learn a lot from different people, and that's the one thing that's good about nursing. Meet different people, you learn a lot, So I hope this helps. If you guys have any questions, concerns, comments, let me know. Please message below. And I plan on doing a video specific to how my week as a strike nurse went. And that's all for today. Take care.